Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Moviecast, episode 447. I hope 46. I don't know. I'm doing it live. Welcome, everyone, to the Moviecast. I hope I got the number right. 446. I skipped an episode. Yep. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
Corey Feinsod.
Heyo.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Yo.
Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers, to 446. Sorry, it's a lot of numbers to keep track of which episodes we're on, you know? All right. So we've got a excellent episode for you guys tonight. We are going to talk about, well, is it excellent what we're going to be talking about for our topic?
No.
Our topic of the night is, well, it's a topic. It's a conversation piece. So when television and movies ruin source material. So we're going to have instances of that. One of the major instances, which we're going to bring up at some point tonight, is you'll hear soon. I guess if you haven't watched things, we'll keep this as spoiler-free in the beginning. We will tell you when we give you guys spoilers. But
this topic was definitely inspired by recent events.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah. So, we're going to get into that, but let's first get into what we've been up to. Well, let's go to box office first, actually. Okay. This is a loss for me. Tony's got to win. Okay. Let me go over these numbers, and then I have a very good idea, by the way. I have a very good idea that I think all the listeners and viewers are going to love to hear. So at number one was Avengers Endgame, 63.4 million, which is very good hold for that, actually. Pokemon, Detective Pikachu. Defective Pikachu. It didn't do as well as they were hoping. It didn't do terrible, but it opened at number two at 54.5 million, which is lower than their original estimates at 58. It didn't open well in China. That's for certain. It did well in Japan. Big shock. But, so that opened at number two. I think, Tony, you saw that, right?
Yep.
We'll get into that in just a second. The Hustle at number three. The Intruder at 4 and Long Shot at 5. So that's your top five this week. Like I said, Tony and I last week decided to throw a bet down. I overestimated the power of Pikachu against the power of Thanos, and I lost this bet. So I bet him that Pikachu would beat Endgame for number one. It was close, but I lost. So my suggestion, guys, now that we all owe a bad movie, I say we all get together, pick a bad movie, and have to watch it.
Let's watch The Room. That'd be fun.
We maybe, but did you watch The Room already?
Yeah.
No, we're not watching a movie. It's got to be a new movie for all of us. We have to pick it out.
Mic isn't working. I think your computer mic is the one right now because I'm hearing a lot of background chatter from you.
Oh, check your input, Mike. Sorry. So yeah, we have. I think that would work out. What do you guys think? I think it's a good idea.
Possibly.
I'm getting us all together is tough because we live farther apart. Like Tony is pretty far, but if we pinged up on this bet more like around our 450th episode, which is coming out very soon, but maybe we could swing that over the summer, But we'll do it. We will pay up. And I think if we all pick the movie, we will all watch it together because you guys owe me a movie and now I owe Tony a movie. So I thought, let's do it that way.
Wait, they owe you a movie?
We all
owe a movie.
Avengers.
So the Avengers Shield thing.
You got all three of us.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. So I'd be willing.
All three of us bet against him.
Yeah, I'd be willing to just take my lumps for that loss this weekend and watch a bad movie with you guys.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. So I thought it was a cool idea. But listeners, let us know what you think. Podcast at allycangeek.net. Write us. So let us know what you think. Did you hear about the Curse of La Llorona being played for kids who went and saw Pikachu accidentally?
Yeah. I heard that story.
Oh my God. And there was a guy that was tweeting about it during the movie because he's like, the trailer for, I forget what, like it came on and like, it was just like,
like somebody should have been like, wait a second.
At that point, I wonder if parents were wondering. And then like, there was a bunch of rated R trailers that they showed. And then the movie came on. Oh my God, those kids were traumatized. So theaters, pay attention. All right. Opening this week, John Wick, Parabellum. That's a pretty big movie.
Super excited.
Yeah, May 24th is a busy week, actually, too. This is the busy time of year.
Starting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, that's the box office. Getting into what we've been up to, guys. I will start us off saying that I have watched a really, really bad movie, and I didn't finish it. So that's something. Again, we've gotten into this conversation before, to the point where I've got 20 minutes left on the movie. That's it, and I have no desire to watch the end of it. It's The Predator. The Predator.
The Predator.
That bad?
Adrian Brody
Oh,
movie?
You can't finish it?
No, The Predator is the newest one.
That's just Predator.
Oh, is it? It said
I
The
think
Predator.
The Predator is Adrian Brody one.
No, that's Predators.
Oh, okay. I don't know then. See,
this is the Shane Black one. This is the Shane Black movie with Olivia Munn in it, and it's so bad.
That's your trigger right there. Why are you even?
I don't know. I forgot she was in it, so I put it on today, and I even had it running in the background. And at some point, there was like 20 minutes left. I'm like, this needs to turn off. It's not worth me watching this movie at this moment. That's what I figured, and I'm just I turned it off, and I'm like, I have no desire to go back to watch the ending. I'm 20 minutes away from it. It's just
coming up on my feed, and I'm like,
it's horrible.
No,
that's what happened. It came up, and I'm like, well, maybe it'll be stupid fun. And it's
when I
not
say feed,
fun.
I mean it's like it's a new movie on HBO, whatever.
Yeah, it's not. It's just stupid. It's not stupid fun. It's just stupid. And there's like predator dogs in this. It's bad. It's really bad. Predator dogs that look exactly like predators, but as dogs.
Ugh. Why?
I don't know. They have dreadlocks and everything. And I'm going to just spoil some of this for you guys, just so you know.
Okay.
At some point, they shoot one of them in the head, the predator dogs, but it doesn't kill it. It makes it like disabled. Like it just doesn't know what's going on. So it's running around being like the comic relief in the movie while you're watching. Yeah, that's what's going on. So it's like stumbling around eating things that it's supposed to be funny. I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. Yeah. Thomas Jane's in it. He plays the guy with Tourette's, and it's just not not good.
This was owned by Fox, right?
Yeah.
So now it's under the.
This is Disney owns now, and I doubt this franchise ever sees the light of day again. Like I really do.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure it will. It's an IP, even though it's been damaged over the years. It's still an IP.
Yeah. It was
really ruined it, with the Alien versus Predator stuff, and
sure,
it hasn't been good since Danny Glover's Predator 2.
No, they've referenced like a lot of that stuff in this movie, and I mean, they are injecting human DNA into predators.
What?
They don't really give you good reason, except for they're trying to make their race better.
Why would you add human DNA?
Exactly.
What do we offer them?
I don't know. There was no answer to that. What they were getting,
they apparently come to Earth to hunt us because we're one of the best.
That's really what they do. They take the DNA from who they hunted and they're injecting it into predators. Yeah, it's just not. It's not. And they make a super predator who, oh god, it's really bad. It's
starting to sound like Jurassic World or whatever. They're like the Indominus Rex or whatever they call that thing.
It's really bad.
What's going on here?
For the first time ever, you can see predators communicating. And it's bad. So,
I really wish they did the book. They talk about material.
Yes.
It's like it's been ruined.
I feel like, believe it or not, the character that Olivia Munn played would have been better as the main character. Instead, she's not, and it's not great. And the main character doesn't. It's another army guy, and it's just very generic. It's just
generic white boy.
Yeah, it's just very bad. It's just very bad. And what's his name? Peel. Which one it is?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy, the Aaron guy, he's in this. Yeah, and he's bad. It's just bad. All right, so that's one of the major things I'll watch, which we'll get into the second thing soon. But Mike, what did you watch?
Nothing really. I guess I watched half of the original. I accidentally watched in the background half of the original Not Another Teen Movie starring Chris Evans, which was kind of funny to see at this point.
Yeah, that was a good movie. That's fun. It's stupid fun. That's stupid fun. See, there you go.
It was interesting to see him then compared to
definitely
recently.
Definitely. All right, Corey.
Not much other than what we'll be talking about in a moment.
And Tony, anything else?
So I saw Detective Pikachu.
Yes.
Which was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good.
I saw your tweet. You said it was okay, or was it just good?
It was good. It depends on really what you're looking for, I guess. So, it was cool seeing the Pokemon, on screen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they definitely made a world where it's like, oh, pretty cool. Like, I would like to see more. of it, but the main character just sucks so bad. Like,
Yeah.
what is it, Jaden Smith or
No.
who is
No.
I
it?
don't think he's a.
No,
I don't think he's
he's just some new
anybody
guy.
special. You know.
Whoever he is, he sucks. Like so bad. And I'm not saying the actor sucks. It's just the main character sucks because, like, I guess that's the point. It's like he's like a reluctant
Justice Smith
adult,
is his
or
name.
Justice Smith. Yeah, there you go. And he's just like, I don't need a Pokemon. I don't want a Pokemon. It's just like, okay, so like for half the movie, he's just like being dragged around, like trying to solve this mystery with this fucking Pikachu. Ryan Reynolds is great. I mean, if you're a fan of Ryan Reynolds and or Deadpool, you absolutely have to see this movie at some point. I'm not saying go to the theaters and stuff like that. And I swear to God, like I mentioned in Discord, but if there was some way that you could just swap Pikachu and Deadpool in the respective movies, like it would be utterly fantastic. Just it would be ridiculous. And that's all I could think about towards the end of the movie. It's like, man, like I need a Deadpool and Pikachu mashup movie, and like Ryan Reynolds is just voicing both of them right now. But it just so the main character sucked, and they just a lot of the other actors sucked, and we're just like, oh my God, like you guys are killing me. Like it's not that hard to act. Like it can't be this hard to just be a passable character that has.
You
like
also
10
have to deal with what you're given too. You know?
No, you're right, and I don't even know who wrote the story or anything like that. I mean, there's some plot contrivances. Not that like you should really look too deep into these things, but it's just like, wait, you didn't mention this thing at all, really. And then, like in the last like 20 minutes of the movie, it's like, okay, I guess we're going on this journey, and it's fine. But I mean, the worst thing is definitely better than any of the other video game movies up until this point. So you know, I'm not disgusted or offended by it. Like I said, if anything, I'm more interested in the sequel because maybe the character, now that the main character is sucking less, or at least that's how he ended his arc. It's like, okay, well, maybe the sequel.
Well, would you rather see like a more Detective Pikachu, or would you rather see something more in line with the main games?
You know, and that's an interesting question because I know we talked about this, and Pokemon definitely could be a franchise that could do ridiculously well in the movies, but I think I'm not sure if a mainline game adaptation would really work well in a movie format because, like, I mean,
I think it would. It's like I really like the whole tournament idea and like going and training,
yeah,
like trying to go up against these, you know, bosses, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great like movie and like underdog type of thing. I think.
It definitely could. I mean,
it worked in the anime, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard that this kind of gives you that world at least. They could.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They set the world up, which is great. It's fantastic because now they can do stuff. And yeah, that could work. I don't know. I don't know if it would appeal to like mass audiences because, like, you know, part of the Pokemon's allure is that like you get to pick your Pokemon, you get to catch your Pokemon, stuff like that. So like, I don't know, you know, if the primarily younger audience would want to see a movie where it's like, oh, I know this character has like this Pokemon. Like I'm just not interested. Conversely, when I went to the theater opening night, I saw like several people dressed as Pikachu. Like most of them were kids. I will give them. There's one where I'm like, you know, I'm not judging, but I'm just like, okay.
Well,
like,
I mean, it depends. There are like, you know, cosplayers that
we've seen Detective Pikachu in her element.
Yeah. So it was good. It was good. I would definitely recommend it. Cool. At some point, you know, whatnot. The other thing is I caught up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. finally because you know, new season is coming out. I was like, I got to finish it this week.
That's right.
So the second half last season, I just did not enjoy it at all. I just like, I don't know. First of all,
I like the finale.
First of all, it does like that. The thing I hate with time travel, we're just like, oh, like we're stuck in a loop or some bullshit. We can go into the past, and then like, you know, the smart character, like the scientist, going, we're invincible. Like we can't die. It's like, bitch, you think this is how time travel works? Like, do you really think that? Like, like my head just started. Like, if that was the case, first of all, if that were the case, you guys are destined to fuck up and the Earth is going to get destroyed. So I don't think that's really anything to be proud of. And then B, you're invincible to a point because the one of you dies for sure, and the other one we don't even know what the fuck happened to. And the third person, you know, like, I mean, we know you die. Like, I don't think you have an enjoyable life from point A to Z. So I mean, good for you, I guess. And just like the way they act, I don't know. I just really disliked the second half of the season. Even the villain, like I was just like, really like.
I was not a fan. Well, I guess the first part of the second half villain, if that's what you're talking about.
I'm talking about all of them. So like you have this like broke ass other Hydra agent, Air Force lead. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, sure. You have her fucking lame ass try hard daughter. All right, and then you have like you introduce this other fucking alien species that's like, oh, we're the Confederacy. Okay, whatever. Like I don't even know what the fuck you are. You're just a piece of shit right now. And then they fucking drag General Talbot. It's like,
Yeah,
we gotta make him a villain. It's like not only do we have to make him a villain, it's like like groom him so he has that villain goatee, like just to drive the point home that he's 100% a villain. I was like, oh. I was not a big fan of this second half of the last season, and honestly, like it kind of makes me not even look forward to this new season, especially when I just saw the promo for it, and I'm just like,
yeah, I'm not excited for what they're doing with this season. Like it because they couldn't deal with what happened with Endgame, and they don't know what's going on with Thanos and stuff. It's like it makes it less interesting.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Just because like the show had so many good moments, and I felt like from like the second half of season 1 up until like last season, like it was really good. Like we had like obviously the Hydra stuff, we had the Ward stuff, the outer space stuff, the Matrix shit stuff. Like it was really cool. And
it seemed like it was definitely going up, but
yeah,
now
exactly.
it's winding down. It's kind of
which it's unfortunate, but we'll see. Maybe this season will end better than the last season did. But yeah, those two things and the thing we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so I mean that's going to bring us. I think that's going to. Well, let's go into movie news. What am I saying? We got movie news first, then we would talk about Game of Thrones at this point in time. But I feel like not to give spoilers to people, we're about to slam that show quite badly in our topic of the night. So let's go into other movie news first, and then we'll move that into our topic, because our topic tonight, for those wondering, is going to be a little spoilerish. So if you haven't watched Game of Thrones this season, I would probably listen to our topic later after you've watched that, because I feel like we're just going to throw shit out and just rant. Okay, so just so you know. But let's get into some news first, then we'll go back to Game of Thrones. So just to tie into Game of Thrones real quick, the one bit of news I had about George R.R. Martin, the Barristan Selmy actor, the character that played him, I guess was upset, obviously, that he was written off the show so quickly, because his character he thought was going to be awesome and then was just taken away. But he did say he feels like that George Martin has books, the final 2 books already written, and he's not allowed to release them due to HBO's contracted rights to tell him he can't release his books until the show ends. Which clearly I only put it on here because George Martin actually addressed it, saying that's just absolutely ludicrous, ridiculous. He's like, I don't have any of these books written yet. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds more accurate. So yeah, don't expect that. For those read that rumor, that's not true. George Martin takes 20 years to write a book. So just, we got another 5 more years before we get this book. So unfortunately.
I highly doubt we see this book from him. I mean, maybe the 6th one, but not.
I think we get the 6th one. Yeah, I think we do. So, so Josh Gad is apparently in the works to star in the Honey I Shrunk the Kids reboot. Josh Gad, who's Disney's like poster boy right now for a lot of their movies. He's. Do we want this? I don't know.
I don't think so.
This was very popular for them back in the day. Like.
I mean, I think that what's funny is I think that the first one holds up fairly well.
I think it does too, actually. Yeah. And Rick Moranis is awesome, and you can't really replace him. No. So
it's one of the things where it's like, are you going to do it better? Like, I kind of doubt it.
Well, that's the problem. It's like a lot of times nowadays they just run out of original ideas. Like Disney is on a reboot, like remaster. They're doing what the video games are doing.
Oh, speaking of that, real quick, I'm totally off the Aladdin train now.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. Like. That's like my favorite song.
Yeah, me
Aladdin,
too.
So I'm just like, I'm out.
Yeah, that's got me really hurting. I feel like there was no emotion in Will Smith whatsoever there.
No, like that's the thing is like, I don't understand it.
We're talking about the scene. Yeah. There was a 1 minute leak of his, not leak, Disney posted of his Prince Ali clip. Yeah, when he sings that song, and it's just not great. It's really there's no emotion.
It's missing magic that like the genie has magic. It's missing that, and like you don't see him
missing
doing
flair.
those things and like going and doing the high pitched voice with the girls, and it's just like it's just a guy doing the song.
Yeah, he's just basically covering the song, and I'm just like It's not great. I mean, there's no pizzazz. There's no genie. Like you said, there's just not. It's Will Smith and it's Will
Magic's
Smith.
not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm off the Aladdin train.
Yeah, I'm kind of very down on that right now. In fact,
I was
that weekend
never on the train. I just don't see how you can be better than the actual film, because the film is just like
that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite Disney movies. Yeah,
it's almost perfect. And
how
do you do better than that with live action when you can't do the same things that you do with animation?
I don't
saying
know
that this movie is going to ruin the source material.
It's very possible.
It's very possible.
No. I wouldn't say it ruins. It's
not that
like a
ruining it.
3 where it makes like the first 2 movies.
It just
like,
does a disservice to what we had before.
Okay,
it's really doing.
So, yeah, I don't know. That weekend, in fact, when it comes out the 24th, I'm instead going to see the early screening of Secret Life of Pets 2 instead of Aladdin.
The first movie of that was.
I hope Aladdin's good. I'm really hoping. I see a very much of.
I mean, I'm open to being surprised, and maybe
exactly.
right now.
I have no expectations this is gonna live up to what
it's
want.
To me, it's like Dumbo level right now of interest. It's just kind of like, if I don't see it in the theaters, I'm not gonna be upset. So.
Plus, I really don't like the guy that plays Aladdin. I don't know I don't know the guy at all. I don't remember him seeing him anything before. But something about him.
Way too long. He's way too young of an actor for Jafar. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Well, we do have some confirmation from the Russos that Captain America is in fact the father of Peggy Carter's children.
No. Did you read that article?
I read the early snippets of it. Did it get updated?
Well, I mean,
there's disagreement. There's disagreement between the writers and the Russo brothers.
Oh,
the
no.
Writers intended. The writers intended.
This is what happens when you have to explain too much.
Yeah. So the writers intended that he was the father.
And the Russo brothers saying no, because again, this just goes back to time travel. Like Captain America didn't go back in time and fuck his Peggy. He fucked some other Peggy, and had another life with a different Peggy. Like
in the 40s, also not in the 70s, which should be taught.
But they also didn't envision anything about the multiverse. Like we're gonna get some stuff in Spider-Man. It sounds like, but they also didn't envision that.
Are we though?
Yeah, I mean, watching that trailer, yes, we are.
Are we though?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just funny.
Mysterio. Like I feel there's something going on here.
I feel like we're not gonna get straight up Mysterio. I mean, seeing what they did with Vulture, like I can't just believe we're getting like a straight up like, yep, Mysterio, he's a con artist, like that's it. Everything was a hoax. There are elements that I think will be there, but I just,
Well, I don't think you can fake flying around and stuff like that as well as he is. Like,
that's why I don't know. I don't know if I buy the theory that he's, I mean, he's a smoke and mirrors kind of person, but I feel like that we've already
really
been
want the multiverse, huh?
We've already seen it now. We've already seen it. Like Tony just said, I agree with him on this, that it would make sense that he would have gone to a separate timeline, and that's a different Peggy Carter than what we've seen. So it's a completely different set of kids that she has. So that's why I get it.
I think they said that. They said like.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying, like that's confirming the multiverse. That's confirming it.
It's confirming different timelines, sure.
Multiverse. Different timelines. It makes a multiverse. That's what it does. So this is what we get now in Marvel. It could be very confusing, or it could be pretty awesome. We'll see how they. Spider-Man has a lot to do. Here,
it took 22 movies to get like into the nitty-gritty comic book. Wait, what? Like kind of bullshit. So whatever, it's fine.
As long as Peter Parker doesn't have 5 clones in this movie, I think we're gonna be okay.
Ooh, Clone Saga.
Yeah, that would be bad. That would be bad. So, last bit of news: Netflix signs the agreement now, because Marvel's out, with Dark Horse to bring some of their properties to Netflix exclusively. Obviously, they did Umbrella Academy already, and we'll probably be seeing some more from Dark Horse.
What does Dark Horse have?
But they used to have Star Wars, but not anymore.
Don't they have Predator?
I think they do. They have Predator. They have what is it? I'm trying to think of what Dark Horse has anymore. Do they have the G.I. Joe stuff anymore?
No, that's
No,
IDW
that's ID?
or something.
Yeah, and
Whatever.
that's where the turtles are at too now.
Mhm.
Okay.
W.
Oh, really? Turtles
I
in
think-
IDW?
Yeah, Transformers and all that
Oh,
stuff.
we're gonna see a Transformers Ninja
Well,
Turtles.
they do
Also.
have a manga based on the anime of Berserk.
Ugh.
I'm
They
just
got
saying.
Sin City and the Mask.
Yeah, this Sin City. Did you guys see the preview for Watchmen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
I
Like,
don't
what?
Didn't
Why?
ever
I feel
can-
like it could be good if you do a whole series.
source
Of it.
material
Yeah.
ruined.
Is it?
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Or was it
Like,
already ruined?
It was
Yeah,
already ruined, but I mean,
Yeah,
real quick though, Jim, you said that was the last piece of news.
Oh, we had breaking news. Well,
I
sort of
mean,
breaking.
Disney just they fully own, full control Hulu now, full control.
Wait, they did buy the
Comcast-
rest? I don't have that on
The
mine.
Comcast has 33% ownership, but they have no say for content whatsoever. Up until 2024, they have the option of getting bought out for crazy amounts. So Disney owns everything that has to do with Hulu. All the stuff that's going to be on there is all up to Disney now.
Wow. I mean,
Full
with
control.
their own Plus service, do they phase?
So
Hulu?
now
Do
it's
they make it worse?
basically ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus combo package. Throw it out there, it's game over for everybody.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I saw that was a possibility, but wow.
Oh yeah, that's happening.
I knew that was in the line. That was in their plan. I think that was in their plan all
They're
along.
saying
so.
their valuation for 2024 when like they can be bought out for like completely Comcast is at $27 billion, and right now it's 11 billion. So they're basically saying it's going to more than double in 5 years the evaluation. And Comcast does not need to put any money into this Hulu at all with this deal. They don't have to spend a dime, but if they do that, they start losing percentage of ownership if they do not help. Because right now, Hulu does not make money.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, that's the end of the news. Now we get into our topic of the night, which will contain spoilers. For those, this is your last warning because we're going to get into this and just rant. So this is about basically taking something from like the source material into a, I'm not sure what it would be, comic book, be that book,
The original
source material, and making it into a movie or a TV show. And is it ruining it, or is there like instances? And I can give you a good instance of this to start us off, to give us something positive.
I could do a good one too.
The Princess Bride.
Sure. One of the best movies of all time.
Thank you. I mean, there you go. I mean, that's
And
right
for
there.
television or Netflix, I should say, the Umbrella Academy, I think, did a very good job adapting the comic, and I think it's better than the comic.
I never read the comic, but that series was fantastic. So, but they're still going. There's still time.
There's time, yeah.
That's why the movie is like finite, and like I know I can say that The Princess Bride is The Princess Bride, and that is one of the greatest movies. So, so basically, Game of Thrones this season has been in a I said this. Now, Tony, you've been definitely hating this thing more than we have recently, but I have said that I feel like the first 3 episodes should have been the last 3 episodes. I said that right off the bat. So obviously now we have episode 5 of this final season, and man, it was horrible. Like, I hated this episode 100% because like I knew where the character was going, and it's not that I hate where the character went.
Yeah, I
hate the downward spiral that happened in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So the descent into madness in 5 minutes. I don't like Danny obviously burned the entire city down to the ground. And that was the biggest thing everybody hated about this episode. There's a lot I think they hate in this episode, but that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Well, it just, I mean, again, like, it's not how you, like, the destinations, how you get there. And again, if they had done it decently, it would have been an interesting, thing, a revelation and turning point, and like, gotten people to be like really emotional about it one way or another, instead of, a lot of like, it's either you're angry like that it happened, or you're angry that people are angry that it happened. It's just like, okay, whatever. But like, that's the 2 camps right now. But like, for me, it's just like, you have these points, and the thing is, I read this tweet that somebody
Was
that
the
broke it down.
The Panther Writers?
Yeah, right. Where they're like,
that was a good tweet. I like that whole thing.
Where GRM was like, well, here's the plot points you need to hit. Like, these are the like Cliff's notes for the ending. Like, this is definitely going to happen. So to reverse engineer that, they had to be like, all right, well, we have to get these characters to do this, these characters to do this, and these characters to do this. And instead of like having like full-fledged seasons, they're like, oh, we could wrap this up in 13 episodes. And HBO's like, really? Are you sure? Like, we really don't mind giving you 2 full seasons. Like, money's no object. Like, whatever. Like, we'll give it to you. No, 13 episodes. We can do this. And it's like, you guys are fucking idiots, because like that's what it is. Like, you literally go from A to Z, and that's it. It's
Well,
not
the
like
problem-
ABC,
I think the biggest problem is you had an outline of the books, the source, for a while.
Yeah.
So you have 2 different styles of writers with this show. You have George Martin, who is what they call the I read this whole thread. He's the pantser writer. So basically he flies by the seat of his pants. That's what they do. So basically he starts to add more stuff, and then he will stay on that and make that like information grow. Whereas like you have other guys who do the outlines, and then they fill it in to that point. And that may cost other seeds, but they get to that point right off the bat. Right. So that's what happens. We ran into these 2 different writers, and now they had to take over the show.
Yeah. But here's the thing, is like, even with like the plot points they had, you could have done it better. So like, the big controversy was like the week before was like, oh, she lost another dragon, flying around randomly and like not noticing a fleet of ships, and just not trying to do anything
in 5
about
seconds
it.
lost one.
5 seconds lost a dragon, which is unbelievable to begin with. And then she lost her advisor, who was somehow captured after one of the ships went down, and Cersei knew that Missandei was, an advisor to the queen, not just some random slave chick lady, whatever. So it's like, okay, and then you kill her. So then Daenerys has time to like deal and absorb all of this information, and still is just like, I'm angry. Whereas like she's just gonna storm, King's Landing. Like, all this still could have happened. Like, if it's like you take that out from that last episode and you save it for this episode, now she's assaulting King's Landing. Now, you can have Euron kill Rhaegar, and then she's pissed because she lost a dragon in this fight. And then you can have, like, Missandei be executed, during the battle, and then that would set Dany off and be like, you know what? Fuck these people. I'm going to burn them all. Like, fuck that. Instead of like this conscientious decision where it's like, oh, I pretty decisively and handedly won this battle.
That battle's over. Bells are ringing. Yeah.
I won't even call it a battle, because a battle implies that there's like 2 forces that have a somewhat equal chance of winning. This was just a slaughter.
Well, it was Super Dragon.
Right. It was Super Dragon.
Yeah.
And like she's just chilling there, and like just everything's on fire that could be used against her. And it's like they're ringing the bells of surrender, and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna kill them all. Like, just burn everybody. It's like, what? Like, how? Like, I would love to see the justification they had in the writer's room, where it's like, yep, and then she hears the bells and then snaps. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that makes no sense at all.
So my biggest issue with this episode is that it contradicts the last episode, and it totally makes like this last episode. This Iron Fleet comes out of nowhere, surprises Dany and the dragons, and kills the dragon. And it was so easy. And then she tries to attack them, but can't attack them because now they're shooting at her. And then these boats destroy her whole entire fleet. It's like, this guy is a pirate magician and can destroy entire fleets.
Super
and
boats.
just pop in and out of nowhere. But then
he's got teleporting ships.
But then the very next episode, he can't do shit. And gets destroyed by the same plan she had last episode. She goes straight at him, but this time it works. And this time they can't hit shit. And those scorpion ballistas don't do anything.
So my other issue was like no alarm was raised in the city. So all of the things are facing forward, and yet everything's burning behind them, and nobody thought
the company is pointless.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It was just a whole lot of pointless.
I mean, but as far as Dany's turn, I don't have a problem with the turn. I think that they hinted at it. Like, they didn't hint at it for very long, but they did lay a lot of hints.
None of us have said we hated
season. It's like, oh, Dany's like, she's a little mad. It's like, okay, cool. You're gonna do this in this final season. All right, whatever. I got you, man. Like, all right.
No, I mean, like I said, I think they did lay the hints down enough, and she did have a lot of reasons to snap there. I think that it just being so easy for her is like, this shouldn't be this easy, and I'm just gonna fuck everybody over. And And then
Yes,
once she gets going, it's like whatever. It's all over
she's
now.
worse than what her father ever was. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely. She's exactly what she hated and wanted to destroy.
That's the thing. Like, if you go back and people said they've seen this in her since the beginning, I'm like, no, she hated her brother because her brother was like this, and that was the idea behind getting the golden crown on him. Was like he got what he deserved because he was a fucking lunatic, and like she's supposed to have learned from that. Like, that's the idea. Like, I'm sorry, but all this does is shows that all Targaryens are crazy. That's it. So it's like, is Jon going to snap at some point? Because they're just all nuts.
Well, they already laid the groundwork as far as like, well, you flip a coin and it's one side's good, one side's bad. So
we've never seen it good.
To begin with. You can say that about anything. Every time a child is born, a coin is flipped. Either they're going to be really good or really bad. Like, oh man, wow, that's so crazy. Holy shit.
I'm sorry, am I the only one that's annoyed with Jon still wearing his Stark uniform when he left his fucking wolf north without even saying goodbye?
All right, hold on. So first of all, I want to rewind a little bit. Where did the Dothraki come from? Because
they were all
I'm pretty
dead.
sure they were dead from episode 3, where like they just did the stupidest frontal charge ever. Where it's like, well, we can't see shit. We're just gonna ride forward.
I saw a great joke about that. Dany's the real Night King. She can raise the dead.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god. God.
The whole episode, and then even like everybody's like, oh well, we got the Clegane Bowl. I'm like, no, that was a shit bowl. I'm sorry, but that was it was like, okay, let's close this out, but we only have 5 minutes. Let's just do this real quick, right on the stairwell, and kill this one guy because he's an ass, and let Cersei just walk around them. All
right, so like, what else bothered me? The fact that Arya traveled down from Winterfell with the Hound, which takes days, if not weeks. Even though they're inconsistent with that.
Well, the whole army took the A train down. Like they,
Yeah. It's like at any point he could have been like, because right up to the last point, it's like, you come with me at this point, you're not coming back. You're gonna die. And she's like, I'm okay with that. And he's like, really? Like, do you want to turn out like me? And like she's like, you know what? No, I don't want to turn out like you. You know what? I want to go back to Gendry, get fucked a little bit more, and live the rest of my life. I'm out. And it's just like, you could have had this conversation at any point on the ride down. Like,
well, no, I mean, it's like the castle's crumbling down around there. It's different than like if you're riding down. I think that's where it was.
But her whole drive, the entire show has been that list. The whole drive. I don't care.
Yeah, well, she's also like crossed people off the list and not killed them.
Yeah. Well, Clegane,
and fire sword guy.
And the fire sword guy, yeah. But I don't know. I feel like I'm not as annoyed with her storylines in this episode, with exception of Magic Armor, where she just is okay without everybody else dying around her. Everybody's dead around her.
Everybody else gets toasted on that street.
And the White Horse. I'm just like, fuck.
Come from?
Yeah. God. I just hated that, and then I hated a lot of this episode.
Yeah.
It was.
There's
really
a lot to hate. I mean, we're talking. I mean, we want to talk more about like stuff that's
so we got to vent on that. So now, Tony, for you, this has ruined the source material for you.
I mean, I'm not gonna say ruined, but like,
you still have that.
I still have it. It's good, but like, I will say I'm less excited. Like, even when GRM comes out with the next book, Where's the Winner, I'm just gonna be like, I mean, I'll get it, I'll read it, but I'm just like, well, I kind of know what's gonna happen.
Do we?
And I mean, I've been dealing with it for a couple of years anyway, since like, we found out like, oh, well, the Dorn, like, they don't matter. That guy didn't matter. Like, they're all, none of them matter. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, the books, they're going to matter more in the books, you'd think. Like, they'd have, there's big storylines there.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, what? Like,
that's what I mean. Like, at least we have hope.
I mean, I think this gets him back in the good graces of his readers because I think he has more of a chance of fixing this problem.
No, if anything, I feel like this backlash, because again, this most recent episode is the worst. Not that it really matters, but like it's the worst rated episodes of Game of Thrones ever, and by a fair amount. Like we're talking about.
It's also the most watched, though.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's the thing is, if you've watched up until now, you're not going to stop. You're going to be like me. You're going to hate watching the shit out of this. Because like that's it. Like I would love to rather be having like water cooler conversations with people at work and you guys and other people and just be like, man, Game of Thrones is so awesome. This ending was so cool. Like this is right up there with Lord of the Rings. Instead, I'm like, this is a piece of shit. These fucking writers are a bunch of hacks. Like this episode was terrible, et cetera, et cetera. That's what we're doing.
Well, let's move into Lord of the Rings as another movie that was created based off of books. And what do you think of that? I mean, that was fine.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job with that. Now there are readers of the books that always hate them, and in the books you'll always get more story in the books, and that's the whole point.
That's the thing is like look, I read all that stuff before the movies ever came out, and even with those movies being 3 hours long before the extended editions even included, there's no way you can do all the things that you would like to do. Like it's impossible.
Like, yeah, I understand that, but like, and I think HBO has a good format for this. And I'm going to bring this up now because we also have Harry Potter, which is another set of books and movies. But I feel like that would be great as a series. And it's the same thing with Lord of the Rings. I feel like Lord of the Rings would be great as a series.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're getting there with Amazon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you could do it better. And the movies were fine.
Yeah,
but I feel like, but that's the problem. Like, the problem with Game of Thrones is their directors wanted to move on to a new project and didn't want to continue with another season of the show. What you said earlier makes 100% sense to me. That is what killed the show, was them wanting to do Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're like, oh well, we've been working on this show for like 9 years. Fuck this, we're out.
We don't want to
we're too proud to let somebody else handle the last season. We're just gonna fucking do it. We're gonna drop the ball so fucking hard. Apparently the one of them didn't even like go online the night of the episode. Like they were just drinking and like just staying offline. I'm like, you fucking little bitch coward. Like fucking hop online and face the fucking people, you goddamn coward. Like
I mean, we haven't heard from you much because I know you haven't seen the Game of Thrones stuff, but like when you have your source material that's really beloved, like I'm not sure what you can use as an example, but do you want the attempt to be made to see it in like a TV show or a movie? Let's take, like, we can kind of tie this in with video games a little bit, because video game movies have failed multiple times trying to make their source material into a movie. And it's, do you want to see the attempt or do you want to just leave it be?
Yeah, I mean, he could just talk about Batman, like.
Oh, there you go.
I don't even mean it as a slight. It's like Batman the cartoon, Batman the movie. Is like most of those are really good adaptations of the source material, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For the most part, you'd like to see the attempt, and if it's there, if something is usually better than nothing. But on the other hand, you can look at what looks like what's going to happen with the Sonic movie, and it's like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah,
it's like, why does this exist? Like, it's negative value, right?
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like I understand adaptations aren't going to be rarely going to be 1-to-1, and even most of the time, I don't know if I necessarily want 1-to-1, because I've already read the books and stuff like that. But at least make it worthwhile. Like, make it
entertaining.
Right, make it entertaining. And
I mean, I feel like they have to think they're doing that. Like a lot of people, like the Sonic thing. I have no idea what the drive is behind that, but at some point they made the decision to go with it. You know what I mean? Like somebody said, "This is going to be entertaining, and I want this."
Yeah.
The only aspect of that like again that actually looked like maybe I saw what they were seeing would be the Jim Carrey Robotnik, because it's a slightly different take on the character that may work.
Sure,
I don't know, but there's always something. I don't know. You can always think back, like, were the original fans of the Ninja Turtle comic books, how the 5 people, whoever that was.
Well, I mean, they were more serious, and then you had this.
No,
kids
it's a totally different thing. So
Yeah.
did they get it ruined, or are they happy now that the thing that they kind of liked is everywhere in a bunch of different versions now? Like, so it's hard to say. It's always a double-edged sword, and it's not going to be for you anymore as much as it used to be. It's going to be for more of everyone, and that's sort of the trade-off sometimes to have something that you like become popular. So it's always double-edged, but it's hard to compare anything to when the source material is not as far along as the thing that's an adaptation from it. I don't know if this has ever happened before.
Yeah, when it wasn't finished. Yeah.
The only thing I can hope, personal hope, I'm not saying it's going to happen because I doubt it, but what I really hope is that the backlash, just the furor over this, because again, people are fucking angry over this shit. I
mean, they invested a lot of time in this.
There's a lot of parallelism.
There's people that name their kids Khaleesi.
Yeah, exactly. Between this and how Full Metal Alchemist, which is one of my favorite series, for those who don't know, it was an animated series, anime, and at the time the anime was being made, the manga wasn't done yet, so they kind of just had to make up their own ending, which wasn't great, really. But then years afterwards, when the manga was finished, they went back and they're like, "Hey, let's make an adaptation of the full manga story," and it was great. And you got to see, again, it wasn't like perfectly one-to-one adaptation because actually they used a lot of the stuff to just be like, "Hey, you already saw the first series, so we're just gonna kind of like skirt by this other stuff so we can get to that like last third, which didn't exist, and we're gonna like just focus on that," which is awesome because it's like, I mean, you know that character X and character Y do this. Like, why spend 1, 2, 3 episodes doing the thing that you know already happens, and it's pretty close to that material anyway, which is an awesome way. So I'd love to see them actually go back and finish properly once the books are done. But I mean, that's talking like 10 years at least. So I guess I'm just waiting for Game of Thrones remake.
Maybe, but they don't usually do that with live action shows. That's the problem.
It takes about 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think I always think back to, and the writing has been on the wall for this because I was so happy when Sword of Truth got greenlit for a series, and that's another show that just never took traction, and they butchered every single character from the books. Like, I mean, they weren't even close to the same characters they were in the books. And for me, Tony, and I thought about this after you made that statement, believe it or not, I never read the other books in that series afterwards.
Really?
So it did kill that for me. Like, and they're out, and I just have not gone back to that series and read and finished those books. They're different. It's a different time. Like, it's a little more in the future of those. Like, he finished his story, and I did finish that, but then he did a continuation of those characters later on, and I never went back to it because I don't know why, but the series for me just was so wrong. It left a sour taste, and I never went back to it. So,
okay.
But it did happen when you said that, and I was like, I didn't even realize when you said that, but I'm like, the more I thought about it, I'm like, wait, this happened to me because it happened with the Sword of Truth.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it could go both ways too, where like, you know, you watch something so horrible, like maybe Death Note, and then like, oh, I gotta see that original. I gotta look at that now because it was so bad. You know, like you gotta get that chaser or something because of how terrible it is. Yeah. But yeah, as far
go ahead, Corey. As
far as adaptations, I was gonna actually bring up Full Metal because that's a great example of, you know, a team coming up with their own story for something after, and like not when something's not finished. Wasn't Berserk that way too?
Berserk was like that, wasn't it? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Berserk, they kind of like, we're like, well, there's not enough, so we're just gonna end this anime episode on a real fucking downer. Like,
so I mean, it happens a lot more in anime. I would say, obviously, you don't really see that in American television. But as far as taking the source material, like, if you don't understand the character and like the characters that the original writer had put out there and what they envisioned for these characters, if you don't understand that and you try to put it out into a different format, that's when it just goes terribly wrong, and you see like such awful like interpretations, I'd say, of things. Where like you get the Death Notes of the world where they just missed the mark so much because they didn't understand what the concept was or what they were going for originally. They just 100%. Wanted to make a new thing with this, like, hey, we have this IP, people recognize it, and let's make it something because we know people are going to want to see it. But then they watch it and they're like, this is not what we wanted.
Just like Zack Snyder, right?
Yes. Not like this. Not like this.
I think you have there's plenty of examples like that. So obviously, there was another one I was trying. I mean,
we're going to continue to get this stuff. I mean, Watchmen's got another show coming out on HBO, giving another attempt at their source material, which people love. But I think Snyder tried to make that close to the source material.
It was pretty far off.
Was it? Okay. I heard he was always trying to make it very close. He was a big fan of it.
Trying to make it very stylized. And
okay. Well,
I mean, there were definitely scenes and panels that were familiar, but as far as being true to the source, it was not.
I mean, Kick-Ass. I love the Kick-Ass movie.
That was a good adaptation and great, panel to film.
300 was a graphic novel, right? Snyder did that one well.
Yeah,
I'm trying to help Snyder a little bit because we all hate him. It's just, Sucker Punch, just fuck that. Yep. But it's he did all right with 300. That was an adaptation.
Dawn of the Dead was probably his best.
Which he adapted from an earlier movie. Right. So
he had the groundwork for it, but he had the groundwork for a lot of stuff that he could have followed on. But he didn't. But it's again, it's when it comes to like the source material that you're looking at, you really need to like kind of get inside the head of the original intent of what these characters are and what they were trying to represent
them. And again, like, you know, I'll say I'm not saying I always want like a one-to-one, like, yep, this happened in the books in this way, like it needs to happen like this,
right?
Because you know, like
it's the intent,
yeah, you're right. You want to pay respect and like homage to like, okay, these are the traits that make up this character or this plot or, you know, this story. But, you know, there's room to massage that and play around with it and tweak it a little bit, maybe even add your own flair to it. But like when it's just so far off where like you just like, this feels utterly disconnected, that's when I'm just like, no, fuck this, I'm out. Like,
yeah. I mean, Daenerys is one of my favorite characters from the books. I mean, she hasn't been great in the books recently because he's left her in Marine, but you know, she has been, and it's just like to watch this character. I mean, if she spirals downward, I want to see a great descent in his books. I'd rather see a great descent. I don't know if that's going to happen in his books, but I want to see that descent better drawn out. But we'll see. So, all right. Anything else to add, guys? I think we're good.
No, just the same things. Like when you get the intent right, and you can like exactly what you're saying, Tony, before, is like massage it, or whatever, and make changes that make sense to the characters. Like Umbrella Academy for me is like one of the best examples. It's just like this makes sense for television. Like you can't do certain things that you do in a comic book. You have to like adapt it for television, for film, and to make those changes and make them make sense is what you need to do. And
absolutely,
keep that, you know, honor those characters.
Yeah, and what I would say is like real quick is what I think is a good example of maybe like right, wrong, and different is the Spider-Man movie. So like, you know, you have the Tobey Maguire original Raimi trilogy, which I think does a very good job of adapting the original source material, which is like, oh, Peter Parker, Aunt May, like she's old and widow and is really poor, and you know, this, the other thing. That's fine. I like that, you know. It gave me a good experience. And then you have Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, where it's just like, oh, well, we're gonna do a modern take on edginess. And it's like, no, it's bad. And then, you know, finally we have the Feige Tom Holland Spider-Man, where it's like, okay, what is central to Peter Parker? You know, these are the traits, these are the qualities. What is important for him as Spider-Man? And yeah, it's not 100% perfect, but like, you know, it's something new and fresh and exciting while still being like, yeah, that is Spider-Man. You know?
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yep. All right. So I think that's going to wrap up this. Not really wrap up this topic. I think we have not yet begun to talk about Game of Thrones and their spiral, but at least for this source material thing.
Is there any way you think the last episode could save it for you guys?
No.
Okay.
No. I told. Did you see me type? I don't know if I'm going to watch that. My plan originally was to call you, Corey, and see if we may come over for Sunday night and watch the finale, but I don't have any interest to do that. No, you know.
Watch.
No, I don't.
Man,
I'll yeah.
No, it's funny. I mean, like we're talking about like shows that have been really good in this go downward. Like even Arrow didn't go as far down as this has. Like
no.
Like Arrow has been pretty terrible, but I'd still say that the spiral that took was not as severe as what they're doing here in season 8.
Yeah. So
like with Arrow, I just got kind of tired of the back and forth. It's like, oh, right. Will they? Won't they?
And the Olicity stuff.
Yeah, the Olicity stuff. I was like, all right, whatever. Like, you know, it's like I just can't watch it concurrently anymore. So yeah.
All right. That's going to wrap up this episode of the Moviecast. Thanks for tuning in. You can write us podcast@allyoucangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter, AllYouCanGeek. Like us on Facebook. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, please. Tune into the Gamecast coming up. We got more topics coming at you. I'm sure we'll have a Game of Thrones, like just all post-mortem spoiler casting on that. So tune into that. Thanks a lot. See ya.